Good morning. Hello, everyone. Here I am with wet hair, having jumped out of the shower. Um, Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our Genesis devotion in the Passion Translation. How are you all? I have the flowers that were given to my daughter by her boyfriend here beside me. I just wanted to show them off. They're so pretty. Isn't that beautiful? So happy spring. I'll put those over there so they can not be knocked off. So pretty. I've never seen an arrangement where they put these, are they irises, on the plastic and then create a stem so that they can be long inside the bouquet with the other Gerber daisies and other things. It's so pretty. Great idea. I think it's Trader Joe's that does that. Okay, so here we are. We have been talking about Abram and his life and what's going on. And today we're going to talk about Hagar, their servant, and what happens with her. So let's just ask the Lord to join us. Lord, we thank you. Thank you so much, Lord, for this new day. And thank you for your love. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for everything that you're doing for us on our behalf every day, waking us up, giving us a new day to learn about you and to know you. Just a moment, I'm going to let the dog out. Seems to be a morning routine right when I start. So, one moment. Okay, so hopefully I'll be occupied out there for a few minutes. All right, so we're in chapter 16. Now Sarai had borne no children for Abram. She had an Egyptian slave girl named Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "Please listen. Since Yahweh has kept me childless, go sleep with my maidservant. Perhaps through her I can build you a family." Abram listened. Please listen, Abram. And Abram listened and did what Sarai asked. Lots of influence on our spouses we have, even to cause them to sin. Abram had already lived 10 years in the land of Canaan when his wife Sarai took her Egyptian slave girl Hagar and gave her to Abram to be his second wife. He slept with Hagar, and she conceived. Once Hagar realized she was pregnant, she belittled Sarai and despised her. So Sarai went to Abram and said, "It's totally your fault that Hagar despises me, and you're not standing up for me. I gave my slave girl to your embrace, and when she found out she was pregnant, she despised me. May Yahweh judge between us who is in the right. May Yahweh come and judge between us." Abram responded. This is how he handled the situation. "She's your slave girl, under your authority, so do with her whatever you think is best." Then Sarai, I guess she thought this was best, cruelly mistreated Hagar, who then ran away from her. The angel of Yahweh encountered Hagar by a spring in the wilderness. This is where she had run to. The spring on the way to Shur. He asked her, "Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from and what are you doing here?" She replied, "I'm running away from Sarai, my mistress." The angel of Yahweh told her, "You have to go back to your mistress and humbly submit to her. The angel added, I will greatly multiply your descendants until no one can count them. Yahweh's angel continued, You are now pregnant, and soon you will give birth to a son. You will name him Ishmael, for Yahweh has heard your cries of distress. Your son will have a wild nature that no one can tame. He will be hostile towards everyone. This is so sad. And everyone will be hostile towards him. And he will live at odds with all of his kinsmen. So sad. After her encounter with Yahweh, Hagar called him by a special name. You're the God of my seeing. For she said, Oh my, did I just see God and live to talk about it? That is why the well is called Spring of the Living One who watches over me. Spring of the Living One who watches over me. The well is still there between Kadesh and Bered. Hagar returned and bore Abram a son, whom Abram named Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar gave birth to Ishmael. All right, that's all of chapter 16. So let's read in the notes here and comment a little bit about these verses. Hagar can be translated ensnaring, and it's also related to the word stranger. And in Arabic, it can mean fugitive. It was an honor/shame culture that they lived in at the time in the ancient Near East, and barrenness was a total disgrace. So this was not just something that people still had honor and regard and understanding for those who couldn't have children, feeling their pain and loving on them. And, this was just a sign of something was wrong between you and God, usually. And the shame that Hagar heaped on Sarai was culturally and emotionally more than she could bear. What's really interesting in this chapter is the appearance of God. We've used this word before. It's called a Christophany, and it's Jesus coming before, like in the form of an angel, before he made his appearance in his public ministry on the earth, hundreds, of years later. But it's so cool that in verse 7, the angel of Yahweh appeared to Hagar. And I just think it's precious that the Lord came to Hagar and that she saw God. And I think it's amazing that who God appears to. He doesn't appear to that many people in the scriptures. And one of them was Hagar. And I think everyone can relate to her. And it just shows you that he will meet the person with the most dire need. He is the God of the guardian of the weak and the suffering. And he's making her a promise that he's heard her cries. He heard her distress. He was with her and he appeared to her. And it's also interesting that he met her by a well. And there's a woman at the well in the New Testament. When Jesus, he journeyed to a well and met a woman in John 4, in the book of John, chapter 4, you can see how the woman at the well, Jesus confronted her as well. She'd been running from God, and Hagar was running. And, they both needed water. And when they stopped for that need, they met the living water, Jesus, both of them. I was thinking when I read this, there's a song or a poem in here for someone to write about being at the well and meeting Jesus at the well. And I just think that's something to think about today. Where has Jesus met you at the well? Where have you encountered him? And do you need to encounter him today at the well? And just the beauty of seeing that Hagar said, "Oh my, did I just see God and live to talk about it? Oh my, do we ever stop and say, oh my, I'm still alive and God just spoke to me. He just appeared to me. He just came to me and I'm still here. Isn't this the most amazing thing ever?" So Ishmael was born, and we'll find out a little bit more about him as we read on. I just wanted to go through chapter 16 today with you, that God hears us, we who are like Hagar or the woman at the well, and oh, that we would stop and listen. I just want to pray today and bless you with the ears and the eyes to see Jesus at the well, and let him encounter you there. If you are running, let him encounter you there and give you peace. Let him give you a posture that I just read this morning, that Pastor Bill Johnson said, that if you want to have the peace that passes all understanding, you have to give up your right to understand everything. And so even this morning, I was pondering some things in the shower about feeling mistreated by a couple of people. Excuse me. And I just started to pray for them, because that's the best thing you can do, is if you know that it's coming up in your heart as an offense, rather than trying to understand why, if you want peace again, you surrender your need for understanding and begin to release prayers of blessing. That's just one example, just a personal thing that I was going through today. And I just want to bless you with the ears and the eyes to see God at the well as he appears to you and wants to love on you and meet you in your need. All right. Well, I don't see any comments today, so maybe I'll see some after. I love you and have a wonderful Wednesday. Bless you. Bye.